Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest football news. And have I got a debate I can't wait to get into, but we've got to do topical stuff first. Basically, the Wayne Rooney versus Michael Owen debate. Give me a few minutes, I'll come to it. I've got a hot take on it. But first of all, deal off. Some interesting stuff coming out around Liverpool this morning. There's rumours of a new contract for Arne Slot, by the way, which I think would be thoroughly deserved, but it's centre-backs that we're talking about. The transfer window has only been closed 1 week today, but already it never sleeps. There's still talk, and it's about Gehi and it's about Konate. Konate, will he sign a new deal or will he run it down a la Trent and go to Real Madrid? Gehi, will Liverpool go back in January to get the player they thought they'd got only a week ago? So this is the latest. The Times are saying that Liverpool will not make a move for Gehi in January. The Reds failed in their 35 million move and basically would only sign him now when his contract comes to an end next summer. Is that a correct move? Whether you're a Liverpool fan or not, is that a correct move or not? Look, he was about to sign for 35 million. Palace didn't do the deal because they didn't have a replacement. Gehi has been very professional. He's starting for England anyway. They're in the Europa League, Crystal Palace, or are they? No, they're not. They're in the Conference League. Sorry for that. It wasn't my fault. Blame whoever didn't sign the bloody form in time. But Crystal Palace have had a good start to the season. Gehi will have lots and lots of options next summer. Will he stay true to wanting a Liverpool move, or will he look elsewhere as a free agent? There'll be a lot of money on the table for him because none of that money will be going to Crystal Palace. And Liverpool basically were expected to go back in January, give Palace something, get the player they want. Why would they be saying no? This is where I don't know. Liverpool fans probably can answer this better than non-Liverpool fans. Do you think your club is telling the truth there? If you were to pick up a couple of injuries, if Konate refused to sign a contract, if you're short at the back, Gehi, Palace might take the money. If they can get the replacement in January, there might be an option there. So I wouldn't rule it out completely unless Gehi is saying, look, no matter what, I'm coming to you anyway. Let's just do it at the end of the season. I'm going to get my head in the game for Palace and we'll do the deal next summer. And Liverpool are in a big enough position to do that. If that was Man United, it would worry me because I'd be like, Manchester United, we're not in the Champions League, we're not challenging for the title. If you get a Man City or a Chelsea come along, they could easily take him away. But if you're Liverpool and you're saying, look, you're going to be our centre-back, we're in the Champions League, we're looking to win that, we're looking to win the Premier League, we want you to be a big part of this. Van Dijk's coming towards the end of his career. You know, you are the guy. We proved that last year. We wanted you. It was Palace who pulled out. You know, come to us. So look, I think Liverpool are still in a strong position, but which way do you think it will go? The interesting backdrop to this is that Liverpool are also in discussions what's this also from the Telegraph? Liverpool see the referencing of other clubs in relation to the Crystal Palace centre-back as a bluff to bring them back to the table in January. Right, so they feel like Palace might be talking about other clubs to get them to come back and give them some money. Look, I suppose from Liverpool's point of view, you're that close to doing the deal. Palace pulled the plug. Do you want to go back in January and give them money, or do you want to go, we got him for free in the summer? So. Also, Fabrizio Romano talking about Konate says that discussions between Liverpool and Konate over a new contract are still ongoing, with the 26-year-old also high on Real Madrid list of targets. Look, it's not my club. It's not my say. But realistically, I think that it's one of those, isn't it? You know, Trent was a local lad who chose to walk away for free to go to Liverpool. Konate isn't a local lad, and things could go a lot worse for him in relation to how it went for Trent at the end of last season, where certain sections of Anfield were booing him. Konate running your contract down to go to Real Madrid is going to sting a lot more than it was. It's going to. I don't think people are going to be as conflicted as they were with Trent, who was a local lad who'd come through the youth system. Konate isn't that. So if he's thinking of running his contract down, I think that becomes problematic for Liverpool, doesn't it? Let me know your thoughts on that one. Yeah, I mean, look, Van Dijk signed a new contract, Salah signed a new contract, Trent didn't. Let's see what happens with Konate. Real Madrid are very good at these sort of things if they want to do it. I think he might end up at Real Madrid, but look, I honestly have no indication on it. Let's see. What do you think? Right, I want to talk about this. It is international break. It's been kicking off a little bit around Michael Owen and Wayne Rooney, who's the better player. And this is what Michael Owen himself said. At 17, I scored 18 Premier League goals, winning the Golden Boot. Wazza scored 6. At 18, I scored 18 goals, again winning the Golden Boot and coming fourth in the Ballon d'Or. Wazza scored 9. In our opening 7 seasons, Wazza didn't outscore me once, 117 goals versus 80. In which time I became the second youngest Ballon d'Or winner ever. Injuries hindered me from then on while he sustained his level. Therefore, he'll go down as a better player than me, but at 17, please. Look, I listened to that just to get the context. I think Michael Owen is a very unique character. We've seen the clips of him, shooting against a young goalkeeper that time when Neville Southall had a go at him. He seems a very self-confident person, and, he thinks bravery awards should go to people who can throw an apple in the bin from the living room. But, you know what? It also came across that if he hadn't have got injuries, he thinks he would have had a better career than Rooney. And I take a liberty. I think he's taking a liberty there because basically he's saying I was a better player than Rooney until I got injured, and because of that, he was a better player than me. I totally disagree. And I think this is where age comes into it, and I'd love to obviously open this conversation. In the Wayne Rooney versus Michael Owen debate, Wayne Rooney is the best English talent I've seen in my life. Only Gaza was better. Michael Owen does not fit in. Gerrard was better than Michael Owen. He is not even in the top 3. Michael Owen, I remember breaking through, and I remember that World Cup very well, and I was there in a packed pub in Nottingham celebrating that Michael Owen goal against Argentina, and it was amazing. He was a fantastic young talent. But if he thinks it's only injury that separates Rooney having a better career, he's completely misreading the room in his own blinkered state. And maybe that's why he was a very good striker, because he's selfish and he's focused on himself. And I get that. And you have to be like that. Whether you're Shearer, Owen, Lewandowski, you've got to be focused as a striker. And that is to his credit. But Michael Owen, I looked at Michael Owen at 17 and I looked at Wayne Rooney at 17. And I know exactly who I wanted, Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney overall was not about scoring goals. His whole demeanour as a player was pure flair, ability and talent. Wayne Rooney's the better player every single day of the week. We're not just talking about goals. And I think Owen will always defeat Rooney on goals, and he can point about how many goals he scored, and he was a very good goal scorer. But technical ability, Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney was an absolute legend of the English game. An amazing talent. He had the lot. He had the shot power. He had the goals. He had the ability to run past people. I look at that 04 Euros, and I watched the highlights of it again about 6 months ago. He absolutely terrified France in that group game. And this was a French team that was absolutely awash with talent. Zidane was in it. He was bullying players, and he was a teenager. An absolute terrier, but also an amazingly gifted player. Michael Owen was a goal scorer. Technically, I don't think he was that good. And what happened to Michael Owen, and we saw it at Manchester United, without pace, he was a decent striker. Now, I'm not saying without pace he was Darren Bent, but without pace, he was just a decent player. With pace, he was deadly. He was the quintessential player who had one really world-class ability, and if you took that away, he became just decent. Whereas Wayne Rooney, even as he got older, and we saw it at Man United, even as he got older, he still had the technical ability to hit a 50-yard pass and make it land on a pin. He could put it in the top corner. He could put a tackle in. He could play a pass. He could still dribble past players even without the pace. Owen didn't have that. So Michael Owen as a goal scorer at 17 was better than Rooney, but at 17 I would still take Rooney because it's the eye test. And people who saw it, saw it. Wayne Rooney, you could see from when he started off at Everton, he had that thing that the people like Zidane's and Gascoigne's had in that position. Michael Owen didn't have that. Michael Owen was world class with pace, but without it, he just became decent. Whereas Wayne Rooney was always world class throughout his whole career. So this is where stats sort of become, for the youth of today, they might look at what Michael Owen say, not witnessing what happened and go, yeah, well, Michael Owen's correct. The eye test tells you a different story. Rooney was better. Rooney was better at 17 as a general footballer, and he had a much better career. And Rooney might disagree with that. I'm sorry. I don't care whether Rooney disagrees with it. I saw it. We all saw it. Rooney was better. Get your comments in. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.